What's up everyone, welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Today we're taking a look at Vechain and its recent price action, and make sure to watch the video till the end for a price prediction for the short and the long term as well. First things first, please smash the likes, subscribe and hit the bell icon. YouTube is not pushing crypto content out currently and our subscribers aren't getting notifications, so make sure to join our free Telegram to stay up to date with all of our videos as they are posted. The link is in the description. It really helps if you hit the like. We're posting 4 videos per day, so come back every day for daily updates and analysis. And make sure to comment down below for your chance to win a hardware wallet in our new monthly giveaway. We'd also like to thank you all so much for your support. We've just hit 10k subscribers, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. This is not financial advice. Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Let's begin. What's up guys, so just before we begin, we're just letting you know that YouTube is currently censoring our content from what we can tell. Our reach to new viewers is officially down around 80% from what it was a month ago. A lot of people are saying this is just because of a general disinterest in cryptocurrency in the past month because of the big dump that we've seen in the market, but if you actually look at the search volume for these kinds of terms, especially on YouTube, basically the volume has never been higher, but for some reason our videos aren't being pushed out, especially to our subscribers. So we really would implore you just basically to hit the like button now. It just lets more people see our content, and we've just hit 10k subscribers, so thank you all so much to all of our supporters. We really truly appreciate you, especially in these times like this. We've actually just ticked up to 10,100, which is absolutely incredible, so thank you all so much for your support. We're going to continue making content throughout basically every single period of hardship that we're seeing, so we really appreciate all your support, and we're going to try and be there for you guys as well. So please let us know if there's any way that we can make the content better. We're always looking for more suggestions about what we can do to give more value back to you guys. And basically what we're saying is join the free Telegram or check back every day manually so you can make sure to stay up to date with all of our videos, because obviously even people that have notifications turned on for our channel are not currently getting notified about our videos. So with that all being said, please hit that like button as we said, and let's take a look at Vechain. So just taking a look at the daily time frame here. This is something that we have been looking at a lot for most cryptocurrencies, and something that we do think is very important to note. As we can quite clearly see here, it does seem as though Vechain is approaching very oversold territory, and this is something that we have seen a lot of recently with a lot of cryptocurrencies, and we do think this is very critical information that we need to be aware of. So as you can see, we've obviously drawn in this blue macro trend line that we do seem to be adhering to over the past year or so for Vechain, ever since the March 2020 crash. And as you can see, we were incredibly oversold on the March 2020 crash for Vechain here. I mean, we came down to, what was it, a 20th of a cent, which is absolutely insane in our opinion. Considering that we're still at around 7 or 8 cents here, that is an absolutely amazing gain. Congratulations to anyone who bought that dip. That is I really hate this measuring tool. It just doesn't work properly sometimes. That is still an absolutely incredible gain of around almost 5,000% here. I mean, up to the all-time high, this is like 18,000% gains in a year and a bit. It's basically a year and a few months, isn't it? So in a year and 3 months, 15,000% gains. I mean, tell me anywhere else apart from cryptocurrency you can make that kind of gain. It's absolutely incredible. But obviously, as you can see, we are approaching very oversold territory again. We've only been in this territory a few times in the past year, and as you can see, pretty much every single time that this has happened, we've had a very nice reversal in the following few months. If we just take a look at this first example, which was the March 2020 crash, as you can see here, we did drop down a lot here, but basically we became really oversold. We got the nice reversal. Obviously, we flipped our EMAs bullish here. We did basically consolidate and chop sideways, but then basically after a few months here, as we can see, March, April, May, June, so 4 months later, we were back to the levels that we were at previously. And then obviously we chopped sideways a bit here and adhered to our 20 EMA. And then we started moving upwards here, as we can see. We got very overbought from what we can tell on our daily time frame here, as you can quite clearly tell. Let me just get rid of all these. And then as you can see, we came down basically again, came down to this very oversold territory here, as you can see. We basically chopped sideways and slowly downwards for a little while here, but we did seem as though we formed an absolute gargantuan bullish divergence here. Price action falling still, but the RSI weakening, which is absolutely textbook reversal pattern. And then obviously, as you can see, the last time that we were oversold again this way, we're basically coming down to these kinds of levels here, these bullish divergences all over the place, and then boom, absolutely ripped to the upside. So it's quite clear that once we get very oversold, that the last 2 times that this has happened, where we've reached very oversold territory. We've had big reversals to the upside. So let's just basically outline this one. We can see this was the first time that we got very oversold here. And then the second time here, we got very oversold. We actually came down a little bit more, but we got our bullish divergence here, as you can see. And then we actually came up a massive amount again. So not saying that this is going to happen by any stretch of the imagination, but we are saying that the more oversold that we become, the more likely the reversal becomes to the upside. And obviously the bears are very, very greedy right now. They're saying that Vechain is going to go to like 1 cent or even worse, 0, which is obviously not going to happen considering how good of a project Vechain is and the amount of demand that it has had in the past year. I mean, a project can't go from a 20th of a cent, what was it, a 10th of a cent? Let's just say a 15th of a cent to 28 cents almost with no, strong fundamentals and high demand. So currently things look quite bearish in the short term, but as we said, as we approach this more and more oversold territory, I mean, even if we do hit this oversold level here, for example, we are approaching it right now. As you can see, we're getting very oversold in general. If we do reach this kind of area here where we're very oversold in general, and we just basically adhered to what we did, say for example the March time here, if we just look at the gains that we actually made, we made about a 1,333% increase off the back of that. So for example, if we came down to these 5 cent levels again, which would probably constitute very oversold here, we double bottom and back test, and then if we did 1,300% gains from there, just for argument's sake, we would be looking at around a 75 cent Vechain, which is obviously amazing. So provided that we do adhere to these previous kinds of dynamics that we are seeing in the market, we could potentially be looking at something like this. I mean, if we just go back here, let's look at the other one just for argument's sake as well. The last time that we were this oversold in the market, as we can see here, we were around this level here. So let's just draw our measurement tool here. So the last time that we were this oversold, we actually came from, please, honestly, this measuring tool is the worst thing. We actually made 2,565% gains in the following, 6 or 7 months? Basically from September, so September, October, November, December, March, January, March, April. So basically 7 or 8 months there. And we made 2,500% gains. So just for argument's sake, let's say we do backtest this 5 cent level, which would be very oversold territory. 2,500% gains from there would be around a $1.40 Vechain. So obviously a very, very nice gain. We're not saying that this is going to happen, but we are just taking a look at what's happened previously when we have been really oversold and what potentially we could expect if we do head into these very oversold levels. Obviously, we have been approaching these kinds of levels a few times in the past year. As you can see, we have been oversold in a few areas here pretty badly ever since the March 2020 crash. But on the whole, as you can see, we have recovered and continued upwards. So in our opinion, considering that we're in a bull market here, and we don't think that there's a bear market whatsoever, by the way. I mean, if we just take a quick look at our weekly time frame, which is our clearest indicator that we're in a bull or a bear market, as you can see, we're holding our 55 EMA as support. Like, this is the perfect back test before continuation. Pretty much every single time when you're in a bull market, you back test the 55. As you can see here, a perfect back test here. You back test it and you continue upwards. And we got really overextended for over our 20 EMA here, as you can see. Really, really overextended, and then we've come back and we've tried to find support after a big pullback. As you can see, we've come back, we've tested the 55, we've bounced, we've come up, we've kind of tried to retest the 20 here, but we have actually got rejected. We've come back down and we're currently retesting our 55 again. But as you can see, let's just zoom in here so we can make this abundantly clear. As you can see, we're still holding our 55 EMA. And in our opinion, you can't be in a bear market unless you start losing the 55 and then retesting it as resistance, because that's when you'll start to roll over like this and your moving averages will start to come down. You'll get your cross of your 20 over your 50 on the weekly, which is usually a very clear indicator that a bear market is likely to occur. Obviously, you can have very erroneous events which would invalidate this, but most of the time, if you get your 50 and your 55 and your 20 crossing on the weekly here, you are going to be potentially heading into a bear market, especially if your price action is bouncing off the 55 as resistance and it can't break back above it. But right now, not seeing any indication that this is the case whatsoever. As you can quite clearly see here, we are retesting the 55 as support, which is what you do when you get really overextended. As you can see here, there was this point here where we basically got really oversold here, ridiculously oversold in the March 2020 crash. We came up and got really overextended on a big run up here, So we came back and we back tested our support, which was our 55 EMA here, as you can see. And we held this 55 EMA for what is this? This is a lot of weeks, 6, 7, 8 weeks, a few months here. And then we got this break to the upside above our 20 here. Obviously, this flip of the EMA's bullish was quite a clear indication that we were in a bull market at this point here. So let's say around June or July here, we are potentially in a bull market. So we're looking for confirmation of that. So we move to the upside, we come and we back test our 55 EMA for confirmation that we're in a bull market. And we basically get the bounce here. So we come back above our 20. We actually back tested all the way down to our 55 again here. And then we just went boom, straight off to the races, as you could say. And now we're doing the same thing. We got really overextended, just like we did here. You can see quite clearly that there is quite a stark similarity to this and this. So you could say basically this is pretty much very similar to what's happening here. As you can see, we came up all through our EMAs here. Confirmation of potentially the bull market here. We got really overextended, well above our 20 moving average. We have a big sell-off to the downside. We basically come all the way down to the 55. We tested as support. We basically got the bounce very nicely, got back above our 20, and then boom, straight to the upside. So not saying that this is going to happen again, but if it did happen again, just for argument's sake, you could say basically we're coming back and doing something similar here, where we're basically back testing off our 55 EMA. We're currently bouncing and wicking back above our 55 EMA here, as you can see, which is very bullish in our opinion, because we're holding support, which is very obviously critical in the bull market. And if we do get that bounce back above the 20 moving average here, we're probably going to see a very, very nice move to the upside for Vechain. We're not saying this is all going to happen overnight, because it's not going to happen overnight. And there's a lot of people that watch our videos, I think, that they expect that we put like our Vechain reversal becoming more likely as the title. And then they expect the reversal to happen like in basically the hour that we post it. These things do take time, and sometimes they don't work out exactly to plan, but we're just basically working off the information that we have on the charts and what's most likely to happen. And as we can see, every time that we've been this oversold before, we have seen a big move to the upside as a result, because we are in a bull market. And until we see indications that we are in a bear market on our weekly time frame here, as we can see, this would be a good indication if we're in a bear market if we see our cross of our EMAs on the weekly time frame here, when we get our price action coming down below our 55 moving average and start retesting it as resistance and failing to break it and rolling over. That's when we could be looking at potentially a bear market. But right now, we're not seeing it for Vechain. So if we just take a quick look at the hourly here, so we can take a look at the quick update of what we've seen recently. Obviously, we came down. We've retested similar levels here. I do think anywhere below this 6 or 7 cent level is probably going to be very strong support for Vechain. As you can see, pretty much every single time that we've come down below here, we have wicked back up very quickly in the precursoring few hours on the hourly time frame here. And we are testing it as support here and holding it nicely, as we can quite clearly see here. So currently the volume pretty damn low in general for Vechain right now. As you can see, the volume is dropping off, because in general, I do think Bitcoin's generally chopping sideways quite a bit. The market's quite boring, right? So a lot of people are out of the market right now, but we do think as we become more and more oversold, especially on this daily time frame, as we said, the reversal is becoming more and more likely in our opinion. And we do think in the long term, Vechain's going to do very, very well. So in the short term, we do think obviously anything can happen, because Bitcoin could continue to roll over with more FUD in the market. But we do think that Vechain is slowly starting to recover here, and you could argue that we are making higher lows, something in the region of, you know, some kind of price action like this, where we're basically making some kind of a pennant on a longer time frame here over the last month or so. But obviously in the short term, it's difficult to know what's going to happen. But as we said, we are getting all kinds of bullish divergences on shorter time frames as well. As you can see here, this was a bullish divergence, where basically you get your price action coming lower, your RSI going higher. Those are bullish divergences here as well. We've got this inverse head and shoulders, which did actually play out somewhat. We moved up to around here, but obviously we rolled over again because of Bitcoin and the futures expiring on the 25th, which was manipulating the price as well. So the short term, anything could happen really, from what we can tell, especially with Vechain, considering how heavily it's being led by Bitcoin right now. But as we said, in the long term, I mean, even if, for example, Vechain adhered to this blue macro trend line that we have outlined here, if we just take a look in a year's time, let's just take a look at June 25th. In a year's time, if we just held this line that we have outlined here, as you can see, this is our macro trend line currently. Even if we just held the line that we're currently holding, we would be looking at potentially Vechain coming up to at least, let me just look at this, at least 50 or 60 cents in a year's time, which is obviously a massive gain from now. That's around a 10x, I'd say. It's maybe like a 8, 9, maybe even 10x. So obviously we're not saying this is going to happen. And we do actually anticipate that Vechain could actually go much higher once we do get that blow off top and that parabolic move to the upside. Because what happens is you basically start to move away from your trend line when you get more and more parabolic. As you can see here, this trend line, we basically got the hockey stick where you move away from the macro trend line and then you come back and you back test the trend line as support, which is what we're seeing here. This has happened a few times. We've got this big overextended run, back test the support, big overextended run, back test the support. And then what could easily happen again is we get the big overextended run here. I'm not saying we're going to go to $5, my goodness. But we have said that $2 to $3 with the blow off top, in our opinion, does seem quite likely. But we do think at least $1 in the next year or so. So that's our update today, guys. We'd like to thank everyone for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please let us know down in the comments section below. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can keep up to date with all of our videos. Remember to comment down below and be subscribed to enter into our brand new monthly giveaway for a hardware wallet. If you'd like to support the channel more directly, please sign up to our Patreon via the link in the description below, or sign up to YouTube membership by hitting the join button right next to the sub below this video, where you can get access to our private Discord. We're offering coin calls, one-to-one access to us personally, insight into our personal portfolio, daily research of crypto assets with massive potential, and access to our brand new 100x portfolio. With so many benefits, you might as well check it out below. Don't forget to get 2 free stocks with Webull by signing up and then depositing $100 using our link in the description below. You can quite literally deposit the $100, get your 2 free stocks, and then withdraw the money, so there's no reason not to do that, and they could be valued all the way up to $1,600 each. But don't forget to actually deposit as well after signing up, otherwise you won't receive the second stock. Scammers get worse every day, so make sure to protect yourself and your crypto online with Pure VPN. Sign up below for some big discounts. You can get access to block content and protect yourself from phishing scams with super low monthly payments and high quality speeds. You can also sign up to our free Telegram via the description as well. All the links are in the description for affiliate links for discounts and free crypto, so go check them all out below. There's plenty of goodness on offer. Please like and subscribe. We are Crypto Maximalists.